Hello, Buzzcocks, my name is C and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. Today I think we will continue improving things. Last time we built up a spider army, some for building, some for fighting, and they are doing their job nicely. But there are a few things that we need to fix, things that are not in the realm of the Navis planet. So we are still doing the research for infinitive things. We still have a few non-infinite researches there that we can also do, but I want to get those out of the way while we can. And if we look here at our research, I can see that we do research and then we drop down again, which means we are lacking some kind of science pack. We have everything down here, but here we need the one from Gleba. And if I look here, what I did notice is that we are kind of lacking a bit in the department of rocket fuel. We have it up here, and that's mainly because we don't have enough jelly. So I think one thing we should do is add another farm for jelly, expand this one so we can also plant on the yellow one. We can do this with this overgrowth jelly nut soil, which needs quite a few ingredients, among them biter eggs. And I don't want to ship biter eggs from now with to Gleba, so we will do it the other way around. Ship the jelly nut seeds and the artificial jelly nut soil from Gleba to Navis, and then build it there and then back again. We might need to ship some landfill in. We can do that from Vulcanus, where we have an overabundance of stone supply, so we can get that from there. And then our spaceship here for the Aquila science is doing its job, but it basically is on the slow side because frequently it stops to wait for enough fuel to be produced. It does this on Navis, it does this on the Aquila side, and on Volgura we have a slightly smaller setup where we just want to ensure there is enough water to continue. So I'm thinking, in order to get more research from Aquila, let's add another spaceship that does that. We can just copy this setup. But first, let's see here on Gleba. Let's set up this production. And then on this, we want to have 200, and then on Navis we also want to have 200, and from there we can take it manually wherever we need it. Let me quickly check on Gleba. Yeah, we do have quite a bit of landfill that we have here. So that should work out. And another thing we need to ship from here is the seeds, right? Let's bring over 100. And also unload 100 here. And that should enable us to produce the things that we need. And we will take this. We will say we want to have another spaceship. Quilo Express 2 with a nice icon for the planet. We'll build that in the Navis orbit, and then we can just paste in the blueprint that we have there. Meanwhile, we have delivered the basic jelly nut soil as well as some seeds, so we can actually see how we want to actually produce the enhanced ones. We also need the biter eggs, which we have delivered in that chest. So this is all one network, and what we also want is, or need, is water that we have over here. So I'm thinking we will need an assembly machine there, which produces this stuff. Oh, can only be crafted on Gleba. So unfortunately, it looks like we have to actually send biter eggs towards Gleba. Which also means this ship. We don't need this here, but we need the biter eggs. And we want 100 of those. And we will see how horribly this will go. We will have to request that in here. Apparently this is the only thing so far that we are requesting from anywhere. And then we also need to have this set up here. We will use that in that form. We need chests. And one output chest. And we will limit that to 2 stacks because it's a bit on the expensive side. And with biter eggs around here, we probably want to have a bit of a defense going. Tesla turrets. That should cover this part here, but then also that part. And I would imagine it takes a while until we get the biter eggs delivered, because of course our ship here is sitting on Gleba's side, while we need to have the eggs being present here on this side, and currently we don't have any eggs here, so that will for sure take a bit of time. We managed to load up some biter eggs and we are on the way back to Gleba, but the eggs are about to hatch, so we will unfortunately find out what that means if that happens on a space platform. Yeah, so far not too bad. Probably we should also say let's have some repair packs here ready. I think we will have a few more biters spawning until we get to Gleba. Then the eggs will be unloaded, and on Gleba we will probably have more issues with spawning biters. Here we deliver the eggs, and we are producing the first of this new soil that we can actually plant on. I think we will need to let this build up a bit before we can think about planting that soil in our farm. I had to come to Gleba personally because we have run out of eggs, and at least for the moment we are okay, but I suspect that it could happen again, so we need to find a better setup to prevent this. But in the meantime, we should have enough of the soil to actually build up this part here. Let's make it like this. Let's patch up all these pieces. And that should get us a bit more out of this one square. And then I also did a bit of wiggling down here so that the jelly that we're producing is transported as fast as possible into chest and is not sitting on belts, and that already has helped quite a bit. So I think we'll just have to see how this new setup here progresses, and then figure out a better setup for egg production, as well as the science packs, which I do want to expand. And with that, hopefully we then can also get more of the fuel, the rocket fuel, out of here. The second farm here is still going up, but I think in the meantime I managed to get this into a situation where our jelly production is kind of stable. Well, at the moment we don't have any to spare, but if we have enough nuts coming in, we go up to 3,000, and we can power this thing. So the last thing I want to do today is basically redo this thing here for the eggs to ensure that we are not running out again and I have to come back. And I was thinking how to do this with spells, and I don't want to do that because I have a feeling using belts I would mess it up. So this is an added challenge here on Gleba to build up a factory based on belts. But what we will do is we will copy this setup here. We will paste it in here. Let's also add a bit of power setup going there. And then we will replace this with a normal chest. And then we will have this like so, and a bit of wiring going like that. And then we can say if there are less than the X, if they are less than 2x in there. No. More than 2x. We want to have more than 2x. Then we transport the egg from this chest to that chest. Otherwise, the chest will stick in here. That will not work because we need to insert the X that way. We'll remove trash from those, because then we can also say let's add the spoilage there, and everything that we don't request will be trashed and picked up. So if I then take this and paste it in here a few times. Also need coverage of logistics. do that here. And that should 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Okay. Then maybe just take this. Also have it there. Can have pump here, and we can connect this. And with that, we then should not need those. I think we can leave them for now, and once we have all these running here, means we are producing more eggs than before. Which we then can use to double up here. Let's just do that, and that will bring us more science packs. Hopefully we can keep up with nutrients and so on. So that will be the next bottleneck that I imagine we will be facing. But with that out of the way and more jelly being produced, eventually we then also should see here more rocket fuel being produced, because this is lacking kind on this one, and we can ship more of the agricultural science, because we see we always have these drop downs, and that's because we are lacking agricultural science for our research. Of course, once we have leveled up here, we then have other researches that we also want to level up, where we don't need the agricultural science. We need it here, but we don't need it here. And then of course there is all these researches we want to focus on. But we will do that next time. Until then, goodbye.